Welcome to Web Handling. My name is Dave Roysum. I am super excited to continue this new series on great questions in web handling. In the last clip, we opined that the best way to handle baggy webs is to send them back to your supplier. However, what happens if you are the supplier? How do you troubleshoot bagginess? This is a great question. First, baggy webs are one of the biggest sources of waste, delay, and customer complaints. Second, the question has wide application in web handling. Materials as diverse as paper, film, foil, nonwovens, textile, tissue, and many others suffer from bagginess. Also, since bagginess is a very difficult problem to troubleshoot, you will develop many new skills. Third, it is not so easy to give a great simple answer to that simple question. The reason is that while most bagginess has a single unifying root cause, profile variation, the details vary enormously. Let's get started. The short answer is simple. You first need to be really solid in web handling and winding. And there is no better way than to literally go to school. My award-winning and trademark Web 101 class has been taken by 5,000 students and is the easiest and the best way to get that skill set. Next, we need as many troubleshooting tools as we can get. There is no better way than to study successful case histories. I have 24 of them up on my All Web Handling channel of YouTube. In most cases, the web is not formed baggy. Rather, the former or converting operation is making a material that has no bagginess, but does have a thickness-related profile variation. When this material is wound, material is permanently stretched in the thicker lanes. This is the mechanics for almost every case in film and foils. While other materials such as paper and textiles can be formed baggy, they also commonly suffer from this thickness profile variation mechanism. Yes, but, as you should suspect, it is not all that simple in the real world. For example, the winder part is so uninteresting that we can state the remedy options there in 2 words. Wind looser. Don't worry whether to use tension or nip or torque or curves or taper. Turn all the knobs as low as they will go. Then you will need to move on, because even the loosest you can wind in the real world will still not be enough to wind profile varying web. So next, we try to level the web. Here we run into more challenges. That is, the thickness variation will certainly need to be better than 10%, and in some cases better than 1%. It does not matter if you can't measure that close. It does not matter if you can't control that close. It does not matter if it is the best you or anyone else in the industry can do. All that matters is what the winder thinks about the variation. Before you begin, you should consider a few things. The first is that the failure rate in industry for this problem is more than high, and more than quite high. It is bordering on near certain. Still, It is not totally hopeless. I have given you many successful case histories that will help improve your odds. If you go to school on these things, your odds will be much higher than those that don't. Your goal will be to first identify the specific component or element that is not good enough, not level enough. That component is quite ordinary and something you walk by every day. Then you will need to figure out how to make that component more level. So, before you go any further, you should check with your spouse, counselor, or medical provider. We want to make sure you are of sound mind and body and making good life choices, such as working on one of the hardest problems in all of the web industries. This was a great question, and I have given you a great answer, even if unpleasant because it is so difficult. Still, even though the failure rate is quite high, it need not be for you. Go to school. Study how others have figured out what component was not good enough. Pray that not only can you figure out which component it is, but also that you can do better. Thank you so very much for allowing me to share my thoughts on great questions in web handling. Let me know what questions you might have in the comment section below. Please like and share if you found something interesting or useful. See you next time.